see you're still in the hotel, living it up with your light.
I have a light that doesn't work on battery power. We should clarify for people too, though, that, because we do episodes a week apart, I can assure you I did not spend a week in a hotel room.
It's a
However,
double film day.
I know it's a double film day, and I decided because I can, I'm going to change my background. But they shouldn't get used to this because pretty soon they're going to be seeing me in a cabin in the woods and my Starlink up or something. So.
Yeah. Hear that, viewers? Don't get used to it.
And don't get used to me like being showered and stuff. It's just not always going to happen. But yes, and I am in a hotel room because I had some meetings about the legal side of my life and thought it was better if, you know.
You could cry indoors.
And, yeah, the funny thing is here
In a shower.
in this particular hotel, there's a living room, a little kitchen area, and a bedroom, so I can just like cry all over the place. But
Yeah.
no, I mean it's going well. I mean, as you know, Ames, there's no doubt that I was not at fault in this accident. It's just dealing with all the
Extra.
it's extra.
All
Yes,
the
it is.
extra.
I can't wait to read the book I write. How are you doing?
I'm all right. I'm also writing another book. Eva asked me if I could read that book to her, and I was like, not this book." She's like,
No.
why? And I said, it's not for children.
I don't even, you and I have not had a private conversation about this, but I'm imagining.
Yeah.
I'm imagining. You and I have complicated upbringings. So
Yeah.
I'm imagining that the thing I'm not going to write about, you might.
Well, tell her all. There for our viewers when it comes out. You'll know all of it.
I have a question for you. I got to turn off this. We are recording. Yes, I know we're recording. I have a question for you is because the last show that we did, we were talking about entrepreneurship and the stress and stuff about that. And today we're going to talk to our regular contributor, Janet Gray, and there's going to be a bit of a surprise in there of something that you don't expect is going to happen to your business. But how do you juggle this shit?
Like money? What shit? Which
No,
shit?
like
I have a lot of shit.
you're gonna write a book, you
Mm.
own a company, you have people that work for you, you're a mom of a young, adorable child that I love very much. Like, how do you juggle shit?
Before I quit drinking like 2 weeks ago, I'd say alcohol. No, I would say that like for my book writing, right? Like I wrote breadcrumbs and it just like I just took my time. And so this new book that I'm writing as I'm going through a very, very difficult period of my life. And I decided that if I was going to do anything about it, somebody was going to get something freaking positive out of this experience. So I write this book just when I have like the inspiration and I write like a piece at a time. However, I've really been into it lately and I've come out so far I'm up to 16,000 words, which is half a book, like a minimum is 30, right? So
Wow.
I was pretty excited about that because it was just like sharing. I do voice to text when I write and then I read it to make sure because it doesn't always work. So that's really one of my short forms because if I was typing it, I'd be here forever. And so I don't really have an answer. I mean, I balance it as best as possible. I have people that work for me. Hazel is now in our operations role, so that's great.
We love Hazel.
We just hired our new client experience coordinator. She'll be starting. And so having people to help run that stuff frees me up to do the other stuff, which all comes in together at some point. So, um, one day at a time. I don't really have any advice.
I didn't do this to look mysterious. I was making sure, because when you're my age, you can't see as well. Your book is right over your shoulder, so we should plug it. Breadcrumbs. If you're in the sandwich, I know enough about it at this point that if you're in the sandwich generation or if you're caring for seniors, breadcrumbs is kind of the manual. There it is. The manual that you need for life and having done this myself and how Amy and I met, highly, highly recommend the manual for, okay, here's how the shit's gonna go sideways, and let me help you with everything you need to know about
Yeah.
caring for seniors.
Well, when I wrote this book originally, it was, I mean, it was on my heart, so I wanted to write it, but a lot of what we do is education, right? So I also have a chapter in the Caregivers Advocate book, which is in the other corner.
Yeah.
But I really wanted to write it to meet people where they're at. And so I did it the same way. I just pieceworked it. And it's interesting because that's when I started talking about being dyslexic. And like writing a book, let
Yeah.
alone reading a book, was just not on my list. Like it's just not something that I ever thought I would do. And now, because I have found an interest in it, I'm writing another book and I'm writing a children's book, and I'm like, I've gone crazy. So, uh,
Can I just like clarify for you, as a friend that loves you, you cannot F-bomb in a children's book. I just need you to know that.
there's no F-bombs. There's no
Okay.
swearing in any of my books, I don't think. I'm conservative on that in the books. I mean, I never would want to offend anybody. I mean, we put disclaimers that we do swear every once in a while here. That's my normal personality, but I want people to approach elder care and find comfort in these books. And one of the reasons I wrote it was that there's just not that much on the market, especially from Canadian authors. And so I wanted to contribute to that landscape and kind of make a difference. So yeah, that's where that came from. The new book, I haven't decided if I'm going to tie it in. I can tie it into elder care, but I haven't decided if I'm going to yet.
And I can guarantee you that in my next book, I am going to be swearing because you know what the subject matter is. There's going to be swearing.
Well, I won't guarantee there won't be swearing in my second book because it might be for it's most likely going to be for a different audience. We'll see. We'll see what I do with it, whether it goes in or not.
I'm excited that we get to talk to Janet Gray today because I use this podcast as my way to hang out with my friends on a regular basis.
Publicly with people watching.
Exactly. It's like welcome to, hanging out with a bunch of girlfriends. Grab a coffee and let's talk the shit out of shit.
All right. Well, let's bring her in.
Okay.
Night.
I was telling Amy, Janet, that I just do this so I can hang out with my friends. It's really self-motivated. And so everybody, we welcome back Janet Gray, who is an advice-only financial
planner.
I was going to say, you fill in the word because it's very, very different.
It is.
We're going to talk about two separate things today.
Okay.
One is, of course, the financial stress of the holidays. The
Yep.
other thing is, I want to know what the hell happened to your Facebook account because so many of us rely on it for business and
Mhm.
promotion, and that is a frigging story in itself, and you're not the only person that has happened to.
Yes.
So which one do you want to start with? Because I wanted to start with entrepreneurship and Facebook.
Yeah.
Are you comfortable starting there? And then
Let's start with the
go,
mystery.
yeah,
Yes.
then we'll go into like holiday planning, which is so stressful for so many
Sure.
people. So what the hell happened?
Just sitting there minding my own business, and I got a note a note from Facebook saying, "We suspended your account due to violation of community standards."
You dirty girl.
I know, right? And it wasn't even on my Facebook account. It was on an Instagram account because they're linked, right?
Mhm.
I'm thinking, well, I don't use my Instagram account. That can't be possible. So there's a thing. Do you want to appeal it? Well, yes, I do. And then they came back. The bots came back. No one came back. The bots came back and said, "Well, we've appealed your appeal, or we've reviewed your appeal, and no, the answer is still no." Well, screw this. So I thought, okay, well, I'll let this go for a little bit. And but 3 days later, I logged back in. I was able to log back in, and but I created a new persona, a new
Yeah.
new account, different email address, right? And then they're on to me, so they shut me down again. A couple days later, and I'm not advising this at all. I opened one in my cat's name because I thought my cat, and nothing to do with business, but I needed to have my peeps, and the new thing with Facebook now is that they actually ask you to submit a photo. So there's the camera profile. They captured your photo, and then they just ran me against the blacklist and said, "Get out of here."
Hmm.
So I'm totally gone, totally gone. So
I
my business page is still there. You can see it. I cannot access my own business page. Frustration. And my personal page totally gone after 17 years.
I've had this happen to
Can't even
me.
imagine the grief associated with that. I mean, I have, as I'm sure you do too, but like, pictures of my daughter, pictures of our travels,
Yeah.
like way back. I was an early adopter of Facebook
Mhm.
simply because I was in the news business,
Mhm.
and we use Facebook to, cross-reference people who have been charged with violent crimes. So I
Sure.
figured, well, I'll just start an account. I can't imagine the feeling of loss.
Well, a little bit, right? Like, I mean, I was just leaving on this fabulous trip and I was gonna like, wow, over Facebook and couldn't do that. And my family, we have different groups through Messenger, which we were able to,
Oh, I forgot about
communicate and stuff.
Messenger. Yeah.
And I don't know when anybody's birthday is because it's Facebook told me when it was someone's birthday. And my birthday went by and I think I heard from 3 people, right?
Oh.
So people don't, if you're not in their face, which is also a business lesson, if you're not in their face, they forget who you are,
Mm.
right? They lose track of who you are. So I went back and for the second iteration under my cat, I thought, okay, well, I'll reach out to the people that are my her name's Lizzie. I would do a reach out to the people that I really kind of want to keep in touch with. And I got to tell you, from the 600 people of Facebook friends that I had, my list going back the second time was about 40, right?
It's a
And
good lesson in life. Also, I'm sorry, I don't mean to point this out, but Lizzie is deceased, so even Lizzie couldn't get on Facebook.
I know even Lizzie couldn't.
Yeah.
But
I've had
her
this.
picture couldn't either because I thought, well, I would just put her picture, right?
But they
Yeah.
analyze your face. That's scary.
That's new. I asked him.
I don't like this at all that they analyze your
Well, I
face.
was gonna ask because I've had this done. I lost my personal and my business, and it was a shit ton of work to get back in.
Yep.
They weren't, I don't know they were doing the face thing. I had to send them in a copy of my driver's license.
Yes, I've heard of that. The
And
face profile picture is new. It's
so
new.
I had to, yeah, it was like I would tell you not to give up because there is a light, but it takes so much energy and time to get
Hmm.
it back. And it's
Yeah.
like we're relying now on these multifaceted platforms
Yep.
to communicate. And then as quick as that, you can be kicked off for something you didn't even do,
Yes.
by like just like whoever was on there, whoever got onto
Yeah.
your
I could have been
platform.
hacked, and as a result, the downfall was me. But
Yeah.
but to your point is that don't put all your eggs in one basket, which I didn't do, right? I have communities outside of Facebook, at least on the business side, because I
Mhm.
have my own newsletter, I use LinkedIn, I have, a website, like I do have other options, but some of the people that are coming up and, through the news that are saying this happened to me and it devastated my business
Yeah.
because that was kind of their whole focus was Facebook.
And I'm gonna go on a tangent for a bit, but the bullshittery for me is A, you use us to advertise, so you're making money from us, and you also support a guy who puts up memes, and this is just this morning,
Mhm.
of someone dropping feces from an airplane on No Kings
I've
protesters.
heard of this. Yeah.
So, and that's a fact. It's
Mhm.
not, like it's an actual CNN kind of real fact.
Mhm.
And yet they can't tell you what community standard you violated in order for both you and your cat to be removed from Facebook and Instagram.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. I think part of it, and I don't
Like,
know, Amy, Elaine Lindsay, who's kind of a
yeah,
social media. She works.
she's been on our
Yeah.
show.
Oh, yes,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah,
So, I mean, her job is to be a fixer for social media.
yeah.
So, one of the first people I reached out to, and she says, "Oh, Janet," she says, "This is a head scratcher." She reached out to her peeps, and they don't know what to do. And now I kind of dug the hole because I tried to, circumvent the system. So I'm out.
I
Yeah,
would have
Facebook
tried to
doesn't like
put
when you
Buddy's face on there too, though.
But he
Facebook
can't.
doesn't like when you work around it.
No,
Like,
no, they don't. The bots, oh, there he is. Hi, sweetie.
mhm.
There he is.
But the bots were all over it. And like I say, I'm not the only person. I probably know about of four. And I mean, my circle has really reduced recently. But it's been 6 weeks. And I gotta tell you, I've got lots of extra time because it was time sucker for me, right? I get in there and go,
Yeah.
oh, there's a reel, I'll watch that. And there's a, oh, I need to contact that that person, or I need to send out 27 birthday greetings. And I have so much more time. I've been reading more books. I'm bored. Like, there's just
Yeah, but how is it for your business?
um yeah, nothing. Hasn't affected my business because I wasn't using it as a sales medium. I was using it as a communication medium, right? People weren't able to buy me through my or anything I sell because I don't sell anything but me. I wasn't able to get money through my website or through my Facebook page. It was more just, hey, here's some cool information about financial planning. You should be as excited as I am. But so that's not affecting me. I'm not selling a thing. I'm not selling dinners. I'm not selling my art. You wouldn't want it, but like I'm not, it's not affecting me into that. And I have other means of communication. I'm still in the media. I'm still, I'm still writing columns and newsletters and all my other things. So I'm not feeling it yet. And I don't know that I will because I'll just pivot. I mean, I have that flexibility because all my eggs weren't in that one basket. So warning to maybe other people about try and expand your breadth of
Hmm.
exposure and marketing to in the bigger market. It's not
Well,
just all about social.
that's great advice because there was that lady in the news who her business was actually going to be threatened because her base was Facebook for business, not her
Mhm.
personal, but
Yeah.
Facebook for business.
Yeah. And Instagram, like Instagram, the first person that I heard from was that her two people were their businesses were imploding because they could no longer sell. It was kind of a craftsy-ish product on Instagram, and they weren't able to sell, and they were like thousands of dollars a month. So
Bullshittery. Total bullshit.
And there's no phone number. You can't get a hold of
Oh.
Facebook.
no, they
You
don't
can't,
want
I
to.
don't even think, I'm not even sure, I can't remember, but I'm not even sure if you can email. Like there's like you have to go through the bots and it's like you just go nowhere
They gave me
forever.
initially they gave me 180 days. I go, I don't need 180 days. There's nothing wrong here. Surely it can be fixed in 5 seconds. And they go, nope, you're gone. So I'm basically giving the middle finger to Facebook right now. I'm not on it. And I do, yeah, that middle finger. But there's aspects that I'm missing of it because of the groups that I used to belong to, the
Yeah, your
discussion groups, the
connection.
family discussion groups. But I was recently told by our friend Elaine that they are no longer allowing new Facebook Messenger groups. So if
Really?
you were in a Facebook Messenger as of October 5th, apparently, if you were in an older group, it's grandfathered in. But if I was able to go in and start a new Facebook Messenger group today, it wouldn't allow it.
Did she say why?
Nope.
And I left the Twitter hate machine and deleted my account with 7,000 people in there. And I just thought, this is not worth my mental health to
Yeah,
worry about these 7,000 people, of which, to use your formula, probably like 60 to 80 of them I actually knew, and the rest of them,
sure.
So
spewing hate. There was one guy that was like yelling at me that I'm not doing my travel videos well enough. I'm like, then don't watch. You
Simple. Yeah.
I think the
know?
lesson is we all go back to ICQ.
The
No,
what?
neither one of you? ICQ? No? This is
No.
supposed to be funny, and now you guys are making me look like a chump. ICQ is a messaging app that I used when I was a teen.
Oh, you're that old?
And screw you, Janet!
I forgot.
ICQ.
It was
I,
along the same times as like MySpace and all that
yeah.
stuff. It was just a chat app. And it
Oh,
would go, uh-oh.
yeah. I wasn't that cool. I didn't know about all that. When I say I was an early adopter of Facebook, it was so that we could look up people in the newsroom.
Mm,
So for people that don't know, I worked in a newsroom because it'll seem really creepy if you don't know that context. But it was so that we could look up people charged with crimes
yeah.
because they were on Facebook.
Right?
There were no guardrails back then, so you could just like put in, so and so and hope that you had a last or a middle name because that helped. And then you could be like, within 1 minute, here's a photo of the guy who's been charged with multiple murders or whatever. So I didn't start
Wow.
Facebook
Now
because I
they
thought
now
it
they
was
do that for
fun.
dating.
That's right.
And I joined Instagram so I could find out what my teenager was doing.
Yes, a lot of parents have done that too. Yep. And
Mm.
TikTok and all those. Yeah. But it's
Uh,
insidious, right?
Yeah.
yeah, we should talk about some serious stuff. Holiday.
I think it's serious. I think it was like
No,
all of it's
this is
intertwined,
serious,
right?
honestly. Yeah.
But we're
'Cause
gonna go into holiday shopping.
Yeah. Holiday
it,
hat.
And I
yeah, but
started, I was gonna say,
yeah,
I started my holiday shopping as soon as
stop.
Amazon Prime Days came on.
Right.
Because I do it piece by piece because Eva has Christmas and then her birthday. And so everything's bought at the same time.
Mm.
Because I'm SMRT. So I started it, but it's gonna get crazy. Things are really expensive. There's all sorts of things happening because of the states and toys and all the stuff.
Tariffs.
Yes.
Tariffs and all that. And like, how do people get around that? How do people deal with that? Have you had people talking to you about this yet, Janet?
Well, all the time. But I mean, it's something that you can't
But
just
mostly
say,
on Facebook, right?
yeah, well, unfortunately.
They're
But
complaining about it on Facebook
yeah, it,
and
it's
Instagram.
but it's more it's an ongoing process. It shouldn't just be, hey, today's December 15th, I better get my ass in gear. It's
Yeah.
about how should I have prepared for this in advance? Well, you make a list. Who am I planning to give to? And
Check
don't
it twice.
check it twice and don't put 100 people on the list because it also still has to come back to, okay, I have a list, but I have this big a list and I have this many people or this much money. So the two need to come together and you don't want to have to rely on credit, which is now, 21% or 22% almost for most credit cards. And especially if you're already carrying, a large credit card bill, if you're at risk of losing your job because of government cuts in Ottawa, particularly, or just, tariff cuts, automotive industry, like all of those things. There's a lot of unknown. One of the things that we control in our lives is how much money we spend, or should spend possibly. But you don't know that until you put a plan in place. And you need to say to your family, okay, we're not exchanging gifts unless you're under 15. Everyone over 15 is going to get a nice cookie or something. Like you need to manage people's expectations around what they think they should receive and also what you think you should spend.
Oh, I'd
Eva was
love this
asking,
because then you don't get some big ass present for somebody and then they didn't get the memo about the cookie and then so communication well in advance. I like that. That's a great
Eva
idea.
was asking me about what Secret Santa was. It was on a show she was watching, so I told her, and I feel like this is the year of Secret Santa to really take its own
Introduce it.
because then it's on purpose. And if you do have a big family that you normally buy for, you would buy one gift then, and it adds a little bit of different fun to it.
Mhm.
I feel like that's like a good way to go. To make sure
Absolutely.
you incorporate it all. Also, FYI, I don't really do presents, Kim, so you're out of luck.
You're off the hook.
And as an only child from birth, um, a lot of that, like Secret Santa around siblings and cousins, uh, was very foreign to me
Yeah.
to begin with. So I had two parents and distant relatives. So it was, it was very simple, but I will say in my household, under the tree when my daughter was born was obscene. It was
I
it
bet.
was obscene.
That's
Even,
how it was when I grew up as
oh,
well.
it was like flowing into the dining room kind of obscene. And I think it's not a bad idea that we start. And again, I don't want to just be mentioning Christmas and Christmas trees because I honor the fact that there are other faiths that celebrate in the month of December. But and do so in a far more, like when I think of the menorah, it's like it's a far more meaningful kind of, but anyway, I don't want to digress. Maybe this is a time, Janet, you like pivoting, um,
Mhm.
which you did with your Facebook and Instagram. Maybe this time in history is a good time for us to re-examine consumerism and
Oh,
what we're doing.
I wrote that down. Consumerism. We all are victims of it and often willing victims because we want to be perceived as always better than we are. But we must be, if I buy this, I'm going to smell better. More people are going to like me. More people are going to love me. I'm going to, be more popular. If I wear this item, if this item has this label on it, like there's so much that can be um, improved on, but I have to purchase something in order for that to happen. So, and your kids buy into that because you've set the example. And that example tends to be, I want the $300 sneakers because that's what the cool kids wear. And $300 is my entire Christmas budget. And these days it could be $300 to put on a turkey dinner. So it gets to be managing expectations, doing reality checks that I can't afford to do that because, I know I'm likely going to get laid off in the new year. I'm still paying off last year's Christmas. If you want the trip that you want to go on as a family, then we can't have a big Christmas. It's having those open, like you said, communication, open, honest conversations, but not just with your family, but with you. Look in the mirror with you, because you're the one that's setting the tone. If everyone's getting, a pair of socks, then I'm getting a pair of socks too. Like it's not going to be two sets of rules. It's going to be, and we're doing this as a family because we have a bigger goal that we want to achieve and a more meaningful goal often because we've agreed on it together.
I will say that COVID, this is going to sound strange, but I lived alone in COVID. No family members could fly, et cetera, et cetera.
Mm.
And of all the Christmases that sort of run together, I remember I spent 2 days doing the whole shebang, like big bird stuffing, and then I put it in those little dollar store containers, and I went down to the Byward Market by myself, and I handed out Christmas dinner to the people in the Byward Market who would not otherwise. I mean, we do very well in Ottawa. I mean, people watch this from outside, but we do very well in Ottawa with Christmas dinners. But
Mhm.
this was an opportunity for them to have a Boxing Day dinner. And I walked around the market with my little wagon and I handed out Christmas meals, had my mask on. It was COVID. I was outside. And I remember that Christmas. It was bittersweet, of course, because I couldn't be with any family members. But that to me was an amazing experience. And being able to talk to some people outside of some of our famous housing shelters
Mm.
was really impactful. And
Absolutely.
I had a friend that said, "Do you need a bodyguard?" And he was serious, a very large football player. And I said, "No, it's just going to
Mm.
be me. I'm good. Got my little kid's wagon, and I'm going to go around and hand out food." And some of these people actually said, "Do you need some help?" And they came like we started a parade, and I ran out of food and I felt badly about it. I'd made like a turkey the size that I always would have in the past. And maybe this is the year that some people get that lesson about what it really should be about.
Hmm. Yeah,
Maybe. I don't
yeah,
know. It was
I
really
agree.
special for me.
I agree. But in practical terms, people do need money, but it's not enough to say I'm going to take this last paycheck before Christmas and spend it all on Christmas because I need, or holidays, you need money to pay bills. So people find themselves starting debt in the brand new year versus if if they'd been able to set aside $50 a paycheck starting in January towards next Christmas, then they would have some money and they would have a finite amount of money and they'd say, okay, we've gathered $600. This is what we're spending. And if, 100 of it needs to go to Turkey, then that means there's only $500 left for gifts. So it's really kind of, backing up the bus, getting a plan, and then proceeding forward to give you an idea of, what you can realistically spend and just, fiscally responsible. Like, why would you want to go into debt for one day of the year? Is it worth it? And some families would argue with me. Yeah, absolutely worth it. Okay, then what are you giving up on the other side of that? You're giving up the chance to go on that family trip. You're giving up the chance to be credit card debt free.
Right.
There's always a trade-off because the money we earn is often a finite resource. And the more you overspend it, then the more stress, to Amy's point, the more stress there is, the more emotional upheaval, the more marriages end. Like there's a lot around overspending our money.
Are there
I don't see
people
that as a bad thing.
Are there people still, I mean, Black Friday is a big deal. I don't know if it's as big in Canada because we don't get as good of deals, but I don't know if they're going to get good deals in the States this year either.
Wow.
So is Black Friday still a thing? Like, I mentioned I start shopping on like just recently, right? And the way I do it is like you never really quite know what to get it. That's why I don't buy gifts. I never know what to get anybody.
Hmm.
So if I see something that's of interest, I'll probably pick it up in general. And so I started with Amazon Prime Day because I was like, I'll just go through and have
Yeah.
a look. Now they send out a catalog that mimics
Oh.
the Sears catalog of my childhood, which is very nostalgic for a lot of us.
Loved the wish book, the wish book.
Yeah, it's the wish book. So I just went online and I purchased like 5 things or whatever at like a little bit of a discount because of Prime Days.
Mhm.
But, you know, I feel like that's a good start to a plan by doing it little pieces at a time instead of just like doing a giant thing, even for your own mental health. Like just purchasing it all at once is a lot. But is Black Friday still a thing? Are people waiting for Black Friday to do purchases still?
I think so, because that's also on my list is to recommend people shop the sale items. Like if you know that any of the big box sale, people are having, 25% day off then get in line and get your discount. But a lot of us don't stop there. A lot of us will buy the Black Friday and then buy the next week when something else is on sale and something else is on sale. So that could be the start of their overspending. Like they might have been better off to not go and get the discounts and then just, have buy closer to Christmas because maybe they'd be more limited in their selection. Maybe they'd realize they don't have that money in their bank account to begin with.
So it's like Halloween candy.
Oh, yes.
Don't buy it too early because you will eat it.
Yes. Lesson learned.
And
I,
and and Janet, I think like the special effect that I could do here, which is like, okay, don't listen to her, but um Amy is actually a really effective planner all year long. And
Yes.
I'll tell you why, because she subjugated me to this. When
Oh,
I
dear.
was coming
okay.
back from a trip and wanted to get the family food, I had to travel half an hour to
She
go pick.
volunteered. She volunteered.
I
Sure
know,
she
but
did.
I didn't know it was going to be half an hour because she gets the deals all year long because she hunts for the grocery prices.
Right?
I
Amy and I are
do.
kindred spirits. I don't know if you knew that.
No, I'm thinking that I'm gonna go to, because this is what I do, because I'm just eating for one, and as most people know, I live in my vehicle and travel. I'm thinking I'm gonna go to the one close to her place because that's the closest one I go to. Oh no, it was halfway across the
I
Capitol.
love me a flyer
Yeah.
and a deal. And also, I love Sobeys, which is the one closest. I like Sobeys, but it's much more expensive for a lot of things than other places. And so I just don't frequent it.
Mhm.
Mrs. Moneybags over there is like a big Sobeys shopper.
Oh yeah, because I'm eating for one. But Janet, I think that that's what you're saying, because I'm not just trying to, tease Amy about making me drive to the middle of
Oh, well,
nowhere.
that's fun
But
too.
all year long, that would add up, right? Is
Sure would.
if you're saving on food costs, that is money that if you're going to spend it during the holiday
Mhm.
season, you have been saving probably way more than that all year long by being a coupon girl.
Yeah, and hopefully it's a behavior and like a learned habit is that
Yeah.
you know how to save money. But I mean, it's not
Sure.
just about the food, right? It's about the decorations, it's about the tree, it's about the liquor, it's about, the clothes, the special clothes you have to wear. The day before Christmas, ugly sweaters or the matching pajamas. Like it goes on and on and on, right?
I am guilty of the matching pajamas this year.
Yeah.
We've
Right?
never done it before, but this is officially our first year without family. And I was like, F it. I'm gonna
Yeah.
do something fun.
That's
So
fun.
so we're guilty of that because I was like, I gotta add some sort of flair in here because we're used to
Hmm.
the piles of
Yes.
gifts.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
I can't like
No.
mentally I can't do that. I also think that it's like even as a child, like getting that much gifts, my sister and I were like, this is like way over the top. Like
Yeah,
we
it's
don't need
fatigue,
this.
gift fatigue.
Yeah, and I was actually watching, we had video recordings from my father on an old tape that we were
Mhm.
like putting through to record digitally. And it was a couple of Christmases, and it was like you're watching it, and he filmed every minute of it. And it's just like, oh my God. Because it's just like one after another. You're not even like, you can tell, like, we're not even paying attention. We're just like opening it to
Yeah.
open it. And it's like, I'd rather have some, like a little, like a pile, a small pile to like watch Eva open and really enjoy, as opposed to like getting in that habit of like, more means I care more type of
Yes, I was
scenario.
going to say, I think that says more about the giver than it does about the recipient.
Oh, it certainly does.
Yeah.
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 Well, because you're also doing we need to unwrap all of this stuff because that bird has got to go in the oven by, such and such.
Yeah. Yeah.
At least in the Catholic upbringing that I had is kind of how the day went. And somebody's got to get rid of this mountain of paper, and this is before recycling. This the excess,
Yes.
But
Exactly.
again, I don't want to be preaching that we should take choice away from people if that's what you want to do,
Sure.
but how does it impact your
Know
finances?
the consequences of your choices.
Yeah, if
And
that's
a
going to
lot
be
of
something that you do, or if you go on a cruise, or like be aware of the thing that you choose to do that is family oriented in the month of December, let's
yeah.
say. Yeah.
But my message would also be, don't let it be just about December. Like practice what you preach all year.
Go on cruises every month.
Yeah. Okay. That's
That's what I'm
listen.
hearing you're saying.
And send your friend to the grocery store on the other side
Yeah.
of the city to get you ready.
To
with-
be fair,
So she
to
can
be
afford it.
fair, I sent you to the grocery store for a pickup. She didn't even have to shop it. She just had to pick it up.
I just
Fair.
had to pick it up.
And
It was
she offered.
It was halfway to Montreal.
I was
Sure.
not.
Sure. I'm not believing that.
Oh,
I think a lot of what I want.
Janet, it was Barhaven.
Oh, okay.
It
Well,
was
that's
not. It was Stittsville.
But it's the
even
same thing.
kind of. What
Janet, back to you.
good. What I'd like people to maybe take from this is to kind of map it out. Make sure you have a spending plan. Save where you can, flyers, coupon matching, traveling across the city if you have to find those deals, but be aware of, where you can save money. Be a squirrel and kind of, create little pockets of money along the year as you go. Like when you get your bonus, don't blow it all in April. Save some of that for December shopping. Like, just kind of
Yeah.
parcel your money out a little bit better. Manage people's expectations. This year is going to be less gifts around the tree because remember we're taking that cruise in March break. Those kind of things.
New traditions. Yeah.
New traditions. Nothing wrong with new traditions. And
Yeah.
also like do that early in childhood. Like don't spoil the kid for the first 10 years of their life and then say, urge. Unless you can't help it, you've lost your job or something. But you want to manage those expectations from a long runway so that you're not creating this monster that has to, what do you mean I've only got 17 gifts? Last year I had 27. Like what's going, and then
Yeah.
they feel cheated, even though it was a hardship possibly for the parent, the family to give that many because of the situations that year. So it's very much about behavior and consumerism. And that's kind of where I'm what I hear a lot from people.
And what I'm hearing from you is that those are conversations that happen in advance, behaviors that happen in advance. It's not Christmas Eve, you're looking for a Cabbage Patch doll. It has happened to me.
Yeah.
In that you're spending, let's say from January 2nd, let's forget New Year's resolutions because we're all focused on, what we're going to do for ourselves. January 2nd is having a plan for the year in advance. We
Yes.
can't plan in reverse.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And it's not just for Christmas goals. It could be for your kids' education goals. It could be for your retirement goals. I mean, there's just good behavioral goals to help you achieve a lot of the outcomes that you want to see, regardless of whether it's Christmas or not.
And then there's Boxing Day sales.
See, start early for the next year.
Well, I was thinking too, like if there was stuff that you wanted but you didn't get this year, like Boxing Day sales for like extra decorations and extra like all that types of stuff. Like now's the time. Well,
Yeah,
not
if you
now,
if you
well,
have the money. If you
if
have
you
the
have
money.
the money, yeah.
Yes.
If it's a part of kind of what you're doing, but you have to start planning. So what about our folks out there right now? It's end of October. They have no plan. They have no money set aside. We can encourage them to start making a plan for next year. But what do they do now? What should they concentrate? Should they lean into Secret Santa? Should they bite the bullet and figure out how to dig out later? Like what's the plan of action? Because there's a lot of people that don't make plans and they're spending the money on presents
Yes,
and this is
you're
going to
right.
be the same thing they would have done this year and then they've stopped because they've heard our show and they're like maybe we should look at this differently. So they've got that mentality here which is in like full force for
Yeah.
this year. So what like do we have thoughts on like something they could do this year to like take the edge off of that money part?
Yeah. I don't think
Short order.
I don't think full on is the way to go. I think small changes have big results over the long term, right? So don't take it all away at once, but say, okay, this year we're going to try Secret Santa because I've heard other people do it and it's lots of fun, and we'll do a game around it. We'll spin the wheel, or we'll do, my sister-in-law uses playing cards. So there's lots of ways to make it fun, and it becomes more about the event than sometimes it does about the where's all the gifts under the tree.
Yeah.
And introduce maybe a cookie exchange where, like all all the relatives bake 2 dozen cookies and they trade, mine for yours. And so there's different ways to do it. And some people are creative, but they get caught in that trap of must buy this to show up. Either I feel shame or guilt because my kid doesn't have the sneakers, but the kid next door does. And my kid, is stuck on that. And, is the misery of my kid worth me paying 21% on my debt? Like, so we all get sucked into it. So
For those
yes,
people that have the kids like that, I can tell you that as soon as you buy it, it'll be out of fashion in like 5 seconds.
yes,
So don't worry about it.
absolutely, absolutely. But
Um,
that's talking about leaning in. A lot of people
Yeah.
lean into the consumerism rather than pull away from the consumerism and find another way to manage it.
Yeah.
you both know Aunt Sue.
Yeah.
For people that don't, my beloved aunt, whose birthday is the day that we're recording this, and I just got off the phone with her. She did what I love, because cookies don't agree with me because it's a whole lot of gluten in one place. Um, her buddies do a soup exchange. So in your freezer is, Thai noodle and chicken noodle and beef broth. And so most of her friends are in their 70s and 80s. And so then they get their freezer stocked with a soup
Great
exchange.
idea.
They don't necessarily do it for Christmas because they all have grandchildren or whatever and they do their thing. They do it in earlier. I don't know the exact date. And I thought, what a great idea because I love soup. And you would have your entire freezer filled and they put little cute labels on them and who made them. And I thought I would prefer that to a cookie exchange because then I'm eating for a month.
Yeah,
I'm gonna have to find enough friends to do that.
yeah. I need more friends. I
I need
lost a
more
lot
friends for
recently.
that. Yeah.
Lost yours on Facebook. Amy lost hers because she doesn't always enjoy some of us. I'm gonna send you some soup
Oh
from
God.
You send
Cisco.
soup to someone who doesn't have an address? No, I mean you. I'm looking at you thinking, okay, where, if I made you soup, where would I send it?
Well, she's gonna be in Mexico, so you gotta send
Oh,
it there.
that's true. Oh, I could do that. That'd be
I'm gonna be eating tacos
taco soup.
as
On the
I'm enjoying
beach.
my $10 a day life in Mexico for the winter. But yeah, I will be well fed on tacos with fresh fish
Mm,
and stuff like that because
love it.
it's
Love it.
dirt cheap, but I really like these ideas. And the other thing that just popped up is handmade ornaments. You can go to Michael's, who does not sponsor this, but if you want to, we would take your sponsorship. And you get the completely naked ones, and then you just get those little like $1.99 pots of different colors. And instead of like opening all day, you make these, I'm sure they're probably $1 per, and you make little ornaments, and that becomes kind of your new thing. And then you put the year on the back and you put it on the tree.
Yeah. And you know what? A lot of people find too that as they get older, maybe we appreciate it more. It's more about my giving. Like if it brings me a lot of joy to give to others. So why don't we start practicing that really early? Like you said, giving out soup, doing a shift at the food kitchen, supporting a family, at the local resource center or something. Like that's really powerful. One year, to illustrate this, one year, my mom, who really doesn't need anything, I bought her a chicken. And it was a chicken through Plan Canada, where you can
Oh,
buy a
a
chicken,
live chicken. It
a
was
live
alive.
chicken in Africa. And I sponsored a chicken. So I bought my mom a chicken and just said, here's a card and here's a picture of your chicken. And
Yeah,
it's now living happily over in Africa, making eggs and feeding a family of 7 or something. And she loved it,
yeah.
right?
I bought Aunt Sue a rescue turtle
Right? Love it.
and that had a tracking device on so she could go on to her phone and see where
Yeah.
her turtle was after being rescued from a net in, I want to say Madagascar, but I'm not entirely sure. And she tracked that little sucker for a year until the beeper transponder turns
Yeah.
off. She loved
Oh,
it.
cool, right? An
And
experience. It's about experiences. I think that's what we'll remember, unless you had like a Cabbage Patch doll. I remember the day I got my Cabbage Patch doll. Most people don't remember if they're opening 27 gifts. What was it I got? Did you buy me the socks or did you buy me the, but if you do an experience, which, is outside of the, oops, I think I froze.
No, you're here.
I'm still here. Kim froze. Okay.
Kim Rose.
If you give an experience that's outside of the consumerism, then I think that's more meaningful in the end when you're looking back on a lifetime of Christmases. I remember that time we went, snowboarding instead of sitting inside, under the tree or whatever
Yeah.
it is. So
I think I might try that for Eva this year, even. Maybe I'll look up something for that. That'd be an interesting
yeah,
idea.
yeah, absolutely.
Cool. Well, I don't know what's going on with her, but we're at the end of our show anyway. So, Janet, as usual, she's gone. As usual, thank you for coming on. We appreciate
Great
it.
conversation. Thank you.
Hopefully, people take our tips and tricks and can have a lovely holiday season, whichever holiday they celebrate.
And
Uh,
any holiday doesn't have to be a Christmas or December holiday, right? It could be
that's right.
Valentine's Day. I mean, whatever consumers are forcing us to kind of spend on, we
Right.
can push back a little bit.
Yeah, I need that cruise. So all the money goes in that pot.
Yes, I believe it. I believe it.
All right. Well, for our viewers, until we see you next time, we'll see you on the inner shift.